Tech Trends 24/7 Leaders is a passionate podcast hosted by James P. Quinn on technology innovation. It provides insightful interviews with key and inspiring innovators in areas of corporate technology, office of the future, AI, real estate, sustainability, assistive technologies, and other emerging technologies. Tech Trends 24/7 Leaders will smartly position you where your business, life, and industries are moving for the future.
Peter Riguardi is one of the most highly respected leaders in the commercial real estate industry. With over 35 years of experience, he currently serves as chairman and president of the New York Tri-State region at JLL. Throughout his career, Peter has been a part of defining and redefining the New York City skyline. He has led transformative projects in New York's most pivotal moments, from the rebuilding of downtown after 9/11 to the redefining of Midtown West by way of the Hudson Yards. Many of his transactions are ranked as New York's largest and most complex. As an innovative leader, Peter has been instrumental in shifting JLL from the traditional brokerage model to an advisory model, similar to the function of an investment bank. Welcome, Peter.
Peter, excellent to have you on the podcast today. Welcome. Really looking forward to our conversation today.
Jim, I'm happy we enjoy these conversations alone. Now we could do it with a lot of followers. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, why don't we dive right in? Peter, as a follow-up to the Commercial Observer's article on JLL's new investment banking approach, just really like to get your thoughts on that in the game plan.
Sure. Look, we're not pretending that we're becoming an investment bank. We know we're in the commercial real estate service business, but we want to tilt a little bit more to the way a bank functions, a little bit away from traditional real estate brokerage functions, right? So some of the really important areas are business development. We notice that the business development around our business can be very random, right? All of the real estate firms, sometimes you have 3 or 4 people calling the same client, and someone's not calling another client. And the bigger firms like a JLL or some of the other bigger competitors, they solve that problem because they have more bodies and they tend to get to more clients. We want to be a little bit more efficient, a little more thoughtful about how we cover our market. So it's not going to stop entrepreneurialism or good brokerage talents, but it's going to make sure that the firm is covering every place it needs to cover. So that's really the first place. We want to be a little bit different. The next 2 places are working together. It's insights and technology. So being at JLL, a company that's strong, that's investing in its talent and investing in its platform, it allows us certain advantages. And we want to make sure we're taking advantage of that, right? So we want to make sure when our brokers are showing up at a client, they have the advantage of all the insights of their fellow JLL people, and they can bring that to that meeting in a manner that's sometimes difficult in a brokerage house. And we're investing in technology, so we're going to use those technologies to be more efficient. We're going to use those technologies to better help our clients make informed decisions. And maybe through the technology and insights, our clients can make a decision on something before a competitor does and have a better real estate solution. So we're not changing who we are, but we are changing the way we go about doing things. And the funny thing, the Commercial Observer article created this whole buzz that I don't believe in stars, right? Or JLL doesn't believe in stars. I think that's just comments from nervous competitors who have something to say. We have so many stars, and our stars will use the advantage of our platform and the advantage of our insights to service their clients better. And I stand on what I said in the Commercial Observer. We think the best superstars are the ones that see the client first and see JLL second and see themselves third. I look at Derek Jeter or Michael Jordan as examples of stars. They always put the name on the front of their jersey ahead of the name on the back of their jersey. And that's all we're saying with that.
That's a great analogy. Makes a lot of sense. And then with kind of the investment banking approach, Peter, what are the top priorities of your clients in terms of how you would drive value with their global real estate portfolios?
Well, look, New York City, London, you pick the major market, there's the same trend. Companies are moving to better spaces, right? Why is that? Our clients feel like they're better when their people are working mostly in the office. So they want the environment to be the best it can be. In order to attract top talent, you got to be in great space and compete on that level. So those are high priorities for what we're hearing from our clients on the occupier side. And the landlord side too, they need to make sure their buildings are addressing that their buildings are the best buildings and have the amenities and have the proper infrastructure and engineering to attract them. And then both sides, occupiers and landlords, are very keen on the environmental issues, their ESG scores, their carbon footprints. And so they're looking to make real estate decisions that are in keeping with the carbon footprint projections that their organizations have given them. And the real estate landlords need to understand that as well. By the way, I have never seen a time where our clients haven't been conscious of run rate and capital and the impact of these decisions on their balance sheet, and the landlords conscious of what these decisions are doing to the valuation of their buildings. So all of those things are a constant. And I think the last thing that I think we're pretty good at is, making decisions is not easy. And so you have to build consensus, whether you represent the landlord side or the occupier side. Make sure that along the way you're building consensus so that you can make an informed decision on time.
You make a great point there. I think that the business has gotten very sophisticated, and you and I have been doing this for a long time, and it really leads right into the next question is, how have you seen the industry change since when you first started the business to where it is today?
I was watching TV last night and they had a clip of Darryl Strawberry, the Mets famous outfielder whose numbers being retired by the team. And the clip was from 1983, which was actually the year I started in this business. And it looked so old to me, the footage, right? So it's been a long time and a lot changes in baseball and in commercial real estate as well. When we started, Jim, it was a little bit like the movie and the Broadway play Glengarry, Glen Ross, which you were a cottage business. If you went to school with someone or they had the locker next to you at a golf club, that was sort of your business development. The deals weren't as big, the rents weren't as expensive, so there wasn't a lot of database and insights to making those decisions. Today, I think you have to have everything, right? You have to have great relationships. You've got to have a great platform to support you and the client's needs. You have to have insights on the decision at hand. You have to provide timely market information. I think today it's really about not being just a broker, but being more of a trusted advisor. And the trusted advisor has the ability to bring all the different needs to the client that the organization they work for provides. And that to me is the biggest difference. And when I first started out, there might be 10 firms that could compete for the top business. Today, it's sometimes 3 or 4, sometimes maybe only 1 or 2.
Right. And it just seems also today is that you have to be so much more collaborative in your approach, just in terms of, like you said earlier, with sustainability, in terms of other disciplines within a platform of a JLL or others. It's really to give them a full service solution.
Yes, no doubt. No doubt. And that's where you become more than a broker and more of a trusted advisor.
Peter, this next question I'm really interested in terms of some of your best lessons you've learned in your career, because obviously it's been a fantastic career. And really, for people out there, what are some are top of mind for you?
I was always very organized. And when I started in the business, I really was a canvasser in the bullpen at Williams Real Estate. We would make a lot of canvas calls. And the first thing I learned is it's better to find a small client that wanted to just work with me than be trying to put bigger space in front of a larger client that was working with a lot of brokers. So that really gave me a chance to get some smaller clients, learn the process, learn the lease documents, learn how a building worked, and made me more professional. That was like the first thing I learned at an early stage. And then not too long after that, when I was trying to find someone that wanted to work with just me, I learned, well, it would be better to speak to clients that had more real estate decisions than once every 5 or 10 years. And so you started to call on companies that had multiple opportunities to do work. And that gave you more of an actuarial table of being successful. And then from that, you started to learn that the junior people are very important, particularly if you're young in the business, because you can grow with them as they get promoted or move to other jobs, and you develop relationships with them when they're in the number 2 or 3 position. That enables you to expand who you work with and the importance of the work they provide to you. And then, there's so many things, but the last thing I would say is you need great partners, right? So I'm always working together with others on the transactions I'm involved with, people that make me better and make our clients be better served.
Yeah, no, especially today, I totally agree with you. And I know you touched on technology earlier. Obviously, with artificial intelligence and everything, the landscape is changing really dramatically. How are you seeing technology really transform our industry?
We're seeing it over the last few years in how we show the market to a client, right? JLL, we have all sorts of different platforms where we can take someone to a market that they're not sitting in and tour them around the market and go into buildings and look at them. And I think that was always very, very, very interesting. But I think in the last year or so, it's just like exploded on what is expected in the realm of technology, right? And AI is adding to that because it can do something in seconds that might take 15 or 20 minutes for someone to do, and it might do in 15 or 20 minutes what it might take a few days for someone else to do. And so people, again, I feel like because our clients are racing towards these best spaces in the market, if we can use technology to make them be better informed faster than someone else who wants that space, we have a better chance of getting it for our client. And I think ultimately that's where technology is really going to be important. And then in all the other things we do, like lease administration, project management, facility management, property management, in all these other places, technology is enabling us to make better decisions faster, save money. And so I think we're going to see a whole new ball game in the next few years.
Yeah, no, I think from an innovation, I think it's a really exciting time to be in the industry just because all of the technology that we've been tracking in terms of how, like you said, it's really enhancing work product and in terms of people working together. I think that it's going to keep on getting better as time goes on. We're just commencing the beginning of the second quarter of this year. Peter, how do you see the state of the current commercial real estate office market in Manhattan?
I'm always optimistic. We have this trophy set of properties that are doing exceedingly well. We have 10, 15% of the market that people are saying, hey, maybe that part of the market shouldn't be commercial real estate anymore. It should have another use. We're running out of the A space, trophy space. And in that bottom 10 or 15% is still a lot of occupiers who might be displaced from those buildings as they turn to other use. So both sides are going to be compressing into the middle. And to me, that's encouraging because there's going to be a lot of deal flow opportunity. And I think that's where the winners and losers will come out. The landlords that have the ability to amenitize their building, upgrade their building systems, address Local 97 in New York City or environmental concerns of occupiers, can pay for TI or turnkey installations, these landlords, I think, are going to have more opportunities than they have vacant space. And the ones that don't, it's not like they're going to be doomed, but they're maybe going to have to decide to be the really low price solution that is not highly amenitized, that's not addressing ESG, but is very inexpensive. And I believe there'll be a market for that as well. I'm also encouraged. Look, we're publicly traded. We scrub our numbers extensively. Our first quarter in New York, we were up over 30% in revenue than we projected, right? And that's very encouraging because usually our best revenue years are in the months are in the end. And we had to readjust our market projection for JLL New York for the rest of the year. We upped it 25% based on our pipeline. So all those things, I would imagine our competitors are seeing a lot of the same things. So that's encouraging to me.
Yeah, I think that when you mention amenities, I think really the formula for winning, doesn't that go hand in hand also with the work experience, getting people more engaged into, coming in on a much more regular basis and being part of the fabric of the organization?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, during this time, Peter, what advice do you have for commercial real estate executives? And this is a challenging time. What advice do you have for them, really being in the arena every day on this?
Yeah, this is an opportunity for commercial real estate executives to really make themselves well known and get themselves elevated within their corporations, right? Because the business and the senior executives want their people back in the office. They want great ideas for workplace solutions, right? They need to manage the bottom line, right? They need to think about what jobs should be in places like New York or London that are expensive and what jobs might be in less expensive places. So there's a lot of give and take. They need to build the space, right? They need to make sure every day it functions properly. So there's just a lot of opportunity for them to be a key part. I was with an executive the other day who talked about saving his company through his business a few $100 million this year with the decisions he was going to make. So these are important decisions. And I think, again, having a trusted advisor, not a broker by your side, I think helps you get there. And being involved in the industry and joining organizations and making a great network of peers, corporate real estate executives, so you can exchange ideas. I think all these things are available to corporate real estate executives, and the ones that are doing that, I think, are getting promoted. That's where you want to be.
And would you also say, in terms of the best that are really leveraging strategy, sometimes strategy always wins. I think that's a big part of it, especially when you're really trying to drive savings initiatives. Would you agree?
You know what? You need to develop strategies that can be implemented, right? So you have to have experienced people around you to know, hey, if I want to cap my jobs in New York City at 2,000 and I need to move 1,000 people somewhere else, well, you need to know that those 1,000 people, what it costs, where those type of jobs are available, how many will come. So all these different things, when you develop a strategy, you have to be able to understand, are they able to be implemented as well?
That makes sense. And just touching upon something else you said about buildings that are not the trophies, that they're looking at converting into residential. And what do you think about that whole segment of the market? Because it will take inventory out of the pipeline, but also it's an opportunity for investors too, isn't it?
Unfortunately, we're in a time where the public and private sectors can't get it right. But I mean, you could envision a place like New York if there were some tax benefits to converting. There are some, and if there are even better ones, to converting from commercial to residential, the benefits, right? And we need affordable housing, right? Yeah. And affordable housing isn't just subsidized housing. Affordable housing is young professionals who graduate universities, who want to come work and live in New York City, It's not easy to do that. That's got to be a priority to keep this city vibrant. I look out my window down Madison. You go to Madison 36th to 26th Street. That whole area could be converted to residential. And then it improves the retail because the retail then requires services. So I think this is an opportunity for New York City to be even better.
Yeah, no question. My younger son is in that looking for apartments in the city, and he would like to some solutions because it is getting pretty pricey out there. So
there's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. No doubt.
Well, Peter, this has been a great conversation. Before we let you go, we're just going to have one personal question for you. To get going for a big meeting or pitch, what's your go-to pump-up song?
Oh, God. So I'm a big Billy Joel fan, so I love Miami 2014. I think that's a charge-up song. Like U2, it's a beautiful day. And there's a bunch of Zac Brown, if people know Zac Brown. I'm the type that needs to mellow sometimes before I go to a meeting. So some of the Zac Brown music can do that for me.
That's a great selection. Peter, it's great to have you. Really enjoyed the conversation. We'll keep in touch, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Jim. Be good. See you later.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Tech Trends 24/7 Leaders. To learn more about technology trends, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can also read my book, Tech Trends 24/7 and the Impact of COVID-19, which is rated a must-read book by CIO Insight. The book is available for purchase on Amazon or on our website, Tech Trends 24/7. When conducting research for the book, I was inspired to see how technology innovation was making a positive difference in people's lives. As a result, in 2020, I founded Beacon of Hope 365. Our mission is to leverage technology to help people in need. More information on the charity can be found on beaconofhope365.org. Thanks again for tuning into this episode, and a big thank you to my entire podcast team, Peyton Pellington, Sal Fortuna, and Carmela Patrone. See you on the next episode.